Welcome to the Tail Slate. We are going to be talking about Game of Thrones Season 6, specifically episodes 1 to 3. I am here with Denis Umpleby and Michael Oakes. And we start Season 6 exactly where Season 5 left off. Season 5 left off with the ultimate cliffhanger, Jon Snow lying dead in the snow.
Spoilers.
Yeah. And we pick up exactly the same spot. He's lying there dead in the snow.
I couldn't honestly think of a better way to intro that season.
It had to.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
I loved it.
That's the one question in everybody's mind was what happened with Jon Snow. Davos finds him and sort of takes care of his body. You have Davos there, his friends, realizing what's happened, and his wolf. What's his wolf's name?
Ghost.
Ghost. That's right.
Hence the white.
There. Yeah. So there'll be more of him as the episode and as the season goes on. We also met up with Ramsay, saying goodbye to somebody else who died, Miranda, who was pushed off a cliff by Theon.
Yep.
And it was kind of a sweet scene. He was saying goodbye to this girl that he loved.
It's weird to say sweet with Ramsay.
Yeah. He seemed to have some emotion
there seemed to be
genuine
like,
emotion.
something nice and kind and
I don't know, I think
good-hearted.
the dogs found her pretty sweet.
Well, yeah, that's the
Yes.
thing. He's asked, should we bury her or burn her? And he's like, well, she's good meat. Don't waste it. Throw her to the, the dogs will.
Yeah, so I
Really?
mean, like, I feel like that was a really emotional scene for him. Like, I think he actually felt those emotions, and I'm trying to figure out whether or not he thought that he was being sympathetic in like, or rather not, sympathetic by giving her back to the dogs, or if he was just like not a believer in a funeral.
I don't
Like
know.
if he knew that death was like like you're dead, you're gone, nothing, there's no heaven, there's no seven gods or anything. If you really thought that, you wouldn't really care too much about what happened to the body.
That is true. It's good
Right. So
recycling.
I'm not sure if that was the case or if it was just him trying to actually be the sympathetic because he found her in the dog kennels, right? So it could be either
I
way.
think it's because he's a psycho.
Yeah, well,
in that case.
Yeah. But it was.
Yeah.
I think he genuinely liked her.
Yeah, I believe that. He's.
Oh, how much can you really expect, right?
Yeah.
It does show like where his good emotions are, though. Like,
Yeah.
as horrible as we've seen him, anytime he's like remotely good, he's still horrible.
Yeah.
You know?
He was horrible to Sansa last season, but finally we see Sansa take Brienne into her service. She comes and rescues both Sansa and Theon when they're getting attacked by, I guess, Ramsay's men out looking for them.
Supposedly they're best hunters.
Yeah, exactly. Right, Brienne's a good fighter.
Yep.
Is she? I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's
like,
known
she's
to
never
be a-
been really noted as the best swordsman ever or anything like that.
She's a great yelling fighter.
Yeah.
She's
Yes.
somebody that I'd feel safe with if she was protecting me.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. I doubt her capabilities against more than like 3 or 4 people, right? So, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, for the sake of story, yeah, she won.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we have Cersei discover that Marcella is dead as they arrive by boat.
Yeah, that scene kind of intrigued me a little bit because I was really thinking that the Kingslayer was going to turn around and go back to Dorne. I honest to God thought he was going to go back to the king and be like, yeah, this bitch, sorry my language, killed my daughter. Or, sorry,
Yeah.
my what does he say?
I'm technically
niece,
the
I guess?
daughter.
Yes, but obviously he's not going to say that, right?
Yeah.
It's his niece.
Well, yeah, I fully expected him to turn around.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the writers recognize that the longer they stay away from Dorne is better for the audience. Because all that stuff in Dorne last season was terrible.
Yeah.
And really tedious and really boring. And even now in this season, like that stuff, we're probably getting ahead a little bit, but even that stuff isn't that great.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, they're setting up the next season,
Yeah.
right? With what's going to happen, probably war or something
Yeah.
like that.
I would like to know, I mean, they do a great job writing the show.
Yeah.
How do they make such a despicable character like Cersei sympathetic? I mean, you actually feel sorry for her. You actually, you're...
I mean, I think when you spend like 10 minutes watching this woman get like crap thrown at her down the hall naked, like you'd feel bad for anybody going through that. Like,
I'm almost rooting for her. You
Yeah.
want her to get revenge on the High Sparrow and all that.
See, I get the same feeling for her as I do watching. Okay, so like this is traditional sort of like worst case scenario. You see some woman. This is something else. entirely. You see some woman and she's been like, I don't know, she's been picked on or she's been like tortured or something, but like she's constantly barraged with mentally like incapacitating stuff. And eventually, the second she snaps, everybody just kind of like sits and stares and watches her go nuts, completely crazy. And that's like watching that, that's the same feeling I got for Cersei. It's like she's been going absolutely crazy this entire time and I haven't felt sorry for her once. And then finally, her crazy stuff caught up to her and her sibling or her children are dead. It's like, okay, now she's really going crazy. All right, let's see this.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing her get revenge.
It's kind of like Carrie, but instead of having like telekinetic powers, she has a giant undead monster.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, that's
Seeing
another
him
thing.
take-
You don't really know if he's undead.
Well, he's
Yeah, I don't know.
alive.
He's too covered in armor. You can't really get a good clock on him.
Yeah,
there
or
there
if
is
he's
that
even-
really cool scene
Yeah.
though where she's already starting to get revenge through him on the people that she
Yeah.
remembers making fun of her, the guy that's bragging about.
I
how he
love that
whipped
scene
out
so
his-
much.
That was amazing.
That was so just a
Yeah.
wide shot.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
You know, okay, so here's the thing. It's specifically to do with the, what was it, the mountain? Mountain's his name?
Yes.
Yes. Specifically to do with him, here's a little thing I'm torn about because you remember when, I think it was last season when the Viper, or whatever that guy was, where they were in a single
Yeah, the
Yeah.
combat. Yeah. And
Yeah.
he used the poison thing on him. And
Yeah, Dorne, as a general whole, and I believe it was the king, was demanding for the mountain's head, like on a platter, basically. And they delivered. They actually delivered. But I don't know exactly what it was because apparently Cersei sent Dorne a box that had the skull of a giant dude in it. And they weren't sure if it was the
Was this
mountain
in
or
the
not.
show?
No, it was in the book only. This
Okay.
is why I'm so weird, so torn about it because in the book they were really iffy on who exactly was in the armor. And I know that they're doing kind of the same thing in the show, but the problem with the show is like they're basically saying, yeah, it's still the mountain.
Yeah, it's a
But in the book,
Frankenstein's monster.
yeah, but in the book they don't say like you could see the eyes or anything. They just see a suit of armor with
Yeah.
that only the mountain could fill. And they don't know where they got the skull or anything. So it's like really wishy-washy, and I'm not even sure because of the books if that's actually the mountain inside of the armor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll speed things up a little bit to get through some of this. You have Doran murdered by Ilaria. She thought he was weak.
It's about as interesting as the last season.
Another brutal murder, Tristane Martell. When the two girls come and he picks which one he wants to fight, and the other
Yeah.
one just shoves
Yeah.
a spear right through his head from
Yeah.
behind.
I remember like anticipating those characters because I heard they were really interesting from the books, and it was just
Yeah,
so
they were
boring.
pretty interesting,
Yeah.
but now they're just not really. They're just, I don't know if it's the actors. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Or just how they interpret them.
I'm always excited when we get some more Tyrion. So Tyrion and Varys are in Meereen. They're trying to discover who's in charge of the troubles in Meereen. And Varys, of course, has his little birds.
Oh, Varys is
working.
getting his mojo back.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited to
That's
see that.
But the fleet is burned. Ooh, so they're not going to be using those boats anytime soon to get to
No, they're
Westeros.
not.
Now, that could mean that we're sitting in a whole other season where they don't even move from there, which could be a little frustrating.
I think,
Which is
well,
weird.
that's what they were setting up, wasn't it? Where they weren't going to move.
Yeah,
I
I
guess they
mean,
can't. They don't-
the thing
don't
that
have
was
any
weird
boats.
though is that I think in the last episode there was that long scene where Varys was talking with that girl that's linked to the Harpies, and he
That's
was like,
coming up. Yes, that's.
yeah, and he was mentioning like getting her off the island. And in the back of my head, I was like, wait, aren't the boats all burned?
No,
It's
those
like,
a trade boat or something.
These
like
were
that.
Oh,
these
okay.
were the ones that can use
The
some
Navy
naval
ships,
ships.
yeah.
We also have Sajora and Dario looking for Daenerys. They find her thing. They find the Dothraki horde has taken her.
Oh, that's going to be
Jorah still
interesting.
has that.
Yeah.
What's it called? The
Grayscale.
snakeskin-
Grayscale.
grayscale happening on. So they've brought that up again. So that's obviously going to play into it. Daenerys taken to the Khal Moro, and they have this talk about her. But then she starts speaking Dothraki. I love it when they start speaking in a language that they don't think that you understand.
Yeah.
But she finds out when a Khal dies, the widow has spent some, I don't know, it was like some temple or something
Yeah.
where all the other widows go.
have you enjoyed that storyline? Like for the past 2 seasons, I haven't really enjoyed any of Daenerys' stuff. Like I remember when Tyrion showed up.
You're looking for more. You want dragons.
Yeah, I mean when Tyrion showed up, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is gonna be great. Like, cause he's a wonderful like opposite to her.
Yeah.
And all the stuff when they were together was great, but then she goes off and like they're split up, and so I don't know how interesting her storyline is going to be this year.
Spoilers for people who are looking forward to this season without any spoilers from the book, because they clearly, yeah, exactly. There is a storyline part in the book that they haven't touched on in the show yet. It's to do with, do you mind if I?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
There is another, there's another what's her last name?
Targaryen?
Targaryen. There's another Targaryen.
Okay.
There's rumors. Now, have you read this? Is something you read, so this isn't. Oh, okay.
This is in the books.
Because the rumors I've heard are that we could possibly have Jon Snow as a Targaryen, which is
Yes.
very
Possible. They don't say anything in the books about that.
And who knows? Even Tyrion could be a Targaryen.
That would be weird. That'd be interesting, but weird. But there's another Targaryen that has not been introduced yet. He's supposed to be, I think, the brother. And so the idea of what he's going to do is he's going to go find his sister and then marry her and then take over Westeros together. Like, that's his intention. But right now he's on some trade book and stuff like that. So they haven't even introduced him yet.
Maybe he doesn't get anywhere in the books.
Yeah.
And that's why they're not.
Yeah. As far as your question goes, and the spoilers, I'm looking forward to that particular part
Okay.
of what's going to happen with her storyline. But again, that hasn't even happened in the books yet, so I don't know what's going to happen. As far as what had already happened with just her, I haven't enjoyed it as much as I thought it would, because every single time I see her in the show or in the books, I'm always wanting something to happen between either everything collapses completely, where the dragons go nuts, kill a bunch of people or something like that, because they very well could, or she actually does something productive and sets foot on Westeros or something like that. Because I'm going to be completely honest, there are quite a few people who want to either have her as a slave or have her as a wife and taking over Westeros.
Yeah.
Like, there's quite a few people who are looking for her right now, and I want something to happen with that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even that last scene with the the arena, like that was okay, but it was literally where the dragon saved her.
Yeah.
That was okay, but it wasn't as much of as something collapsing as I wanted it to be. You know, they still got all the people in power and everything's still the same, but I don't know.
So we'll just continue on her storyline then. So what's happened also there is we've had Tyrion go and release the dragons.
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
And then they
liked it.
back into the cave.
Now I wonder, did they leave the door open so they can get out if they want to? I'm not
See,
sure.
I don't really understand the
Did they
mechanics
just take the
of that.
chains
Do they have
off
like a
and leave
dragon doggy door where they can go out on
like,
occasion?
Because like if you look at the door, I don't think it's big enough for them to get through.
them? Oh, they could get through. I'm sure they could.
Well, I'm sure they could, and I'm sure.
Well,
there's
how
another
did they
way
get in
them-
the first place?
Well, they were younger.
Oh,
They were a lot younger, right?
But they
But
were still pretty big when they were brought in there.
decently. Point is, they're bigger now,
Yeah.
and I don't know how they're going to get out. They probably have a way out,
Yeah.
but I don't know how they got out. They're going to get out, and if it's going to be through the door, then I'm pretty sure they closed it.
Well, what are
But
they going to do when they get out too? Like, are they just going to chill or
They'll
like
go-
ruin the
they'll
city?
do
do
or-
it.
what the big
Uh,
one's doing, just roaming around, killing
Yeah, I
the
guess
animals
flying
and
around.
stuff.
Yeah.
And
good.
growing. Let's see what else happens there.
Maybe they're the ones that go save her in the end.
We were talking.
go.
We were
There it
talking
is.
about Varys and his little birds.
Oh, right.
Yes.
He was
Yes.
talking to her.
Mojo back.
Her name is Vala, the woman who last year was sort of working with the Harpies,
Okay.
the Sons of the Harpy. And
Right, that was
a
that
good
scene with the-
She's thinking, "Are you going to torture me?" He said, "Well, torture does get answers, but usually the wrong answers."
Yes,
Yeah.
And,
that's been a
my
common
job is to
topic.
make people happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's info about her son, and he doesn't use any direct threats, but he puts her and her son on a ship to Pentos, so
Yeah.
so she's
She's
no
good.
longer a problem.
And a good amount of gold too. I mean, like if something's going to open your mouth, it's going to be that.
Yeah.
So
So that's some interesting stuff happening there. We have back at
actually, that's the part that sets it up so that it looks like they're just going to stay in that one city, because it means that the other two cities have been retaken already. And aside from actually marching their armies, which they can't really do right now because
Yeah.
they're still under siege, they've really got to sit where they are and figure out their problem before they do anything else.
Yeah.
So
so we have some stuff going on. The High Sparrow stuff. I just want that to hurry up and finish.
yeah, do something already.
Yeah. Tommen doesn't know what to do with them. He doesn't know what to do as a king.
He has a very good sad face.
Yeah, he
He
does.
does.
You know.
Let's see. We have.
I wonder, just to very quickly touch on that topic, I wonder if Cersei's going to actually take that opportunity to make him into a good king. Because she realizes her mistakes with the last son she had, right? So she might actually try to make this one, like, because the last base was horrible and she tried to make him good. This one is really good and she might make him a little bit horrible, but that might put him in the right place.
You know what's weird is I wonder how far further she can fall because, I mean, because there's that talk about Marcella being like the last good child or something like that, or like the purest child that she had.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if there's something that's going to break inside her because they bring up that moment where she considers herself the queen, and then there was that other woman in the council saying, "You're not queen." So I'm wondering if she's just going to break and say, "You know what? I'm just taking over completely," and Tommen's off the king and all those things, and she and Jaime like take over or something like that. Like, I'm curious of
So
where
she's gonna
her.
do a Mad King sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know how far she's going to go
Or
with
even
that.
if she makes Tommen a good king, wouldn't that be ironic? Because then we have going to have Daenerys and all
That might be
coming
her
to throw him
downfall.
off
That might end up being her downfall, is making him into such a good king that he ends up superseding her and seeing her as the horrible woman she is.
Yeah.
You know, or she might end up being good. You know, you never know.
So we had some other deaths. We had Roose Bolton killed by Ramsay.
Yes.
That was unexpected. I mean, I saw it coming when it was happening.
Yes.
But not before that.
And then he feeds his stepmother and young baby brother to the hound.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I will say I'm not a terrible human being for saying this, but there was a moment, because they like really stretched that beat out so long, where they meet outside first and then they go into the kennel, and there was a moment where he like asks for the baby, and being as horrible as he is, I thought literally he was gonna punch the baby in the face. There was part of me that was like, oh, he's so horrible, there's nothing this person can't do.
Well, or
in terms
stab
of
him,
horrible.
or yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now we also
Drop the baby, just be horrible to the baby.
we also saw Balon Greyjoy get killed by his brother. So we've had two.
Which one was he again?
Theon's dad.
That was a
Thrown off
weird.
the bridge.
That was a
Right,
weird
yeah,
introduction.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
so
yeah.
like hazy. Like I couldn't tell who he
Yeah.
was at first. I was like, this is.
And
Okay, I knew that was coming. I
Yeah.
didn't even need to read the books, and I saw that coming.
Yeah.
Theon's sister may not automatically be considered the new lord. There's going to be some.
Because her brother is coming back from a long trip.
Yeah.
Well, it's not her brother. It's Balon's brother. But generally, succession goes to
Oh, wait,
kids
sorry.
first.
No, I'm thinking
not
of
to
somebody
brothers.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. There's I think there's also another brother. That's I could be wrong. It could be in the books or something. But
Okay, that's, there's a couple of other things that have been happening that are important, obviously. Oh, we've had Osha, the wildling, and Rickon Stark captured, delivered to Ramsay.
Yes.
That's probably not good
I
for
love
them.
seeing people's reactions with stuff like that.
you know what? I saw that scene. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It just can't be good for them.
No, it can't be. But
I mean, with all the good stuff's happening to Starks, they have to bring it back. There has to be something horrible happening to a Stark in this show.
Yeah, but what's gonna happen? Like, I honestly don't care what happens to that kid.
No.
Yeah, we
he'll
haven't
just get
spent too
killed
much
and-
time with
No,
him.
he's
so.
not sympathetic. Nobody's built up his character. Or nothing.
Sansa learns the area is alive somewhere from Brienne.
Yes.
And now we follow Arya's story. That's getting tiresome to me.
That's been better.
I think
That's been a
they're
lot
building
better.
her up to be a very strong woman.
Okay, here's the
Yes.
question on that. I guess this is the important question: is will she become no one, or is she just going to go along with that and then become Arya Stark again?
You know what I always.
think. Sorry, go ahead.
The idea that I had, considering, I remember George R.R. Martin mentioning that before the end of the show and the books, there's going to be a few people on the Iron Throne. And part of me wondered, is like, out of like left field right at the end, that Arya is going to like assassinate, like if someone like Jon or somebody that's close to her ends up getting the throne, that Arya being no one is going to come up and assassinate her own brother. Like I thought that would be an interesting twist of fate.
Because if she's no one, she just does what she's told.
Yeah,
Kills.
she's just
Yeah.
a mindless assassin.
So that'll be interesting to see. I kind of want her to be Arya.
I was a little disappointed that she lost the blindness so quick.
Yeah.
Because she was awesome being Daredevil for a while.
I think they missed the storyline in that too. I think in the books it had a certain section where she was actually blind and she had ended up doing an assassination mission
Yeah.
for the Faceless Men, which they missed out on. I think that would have probably made it a little bit better
Yeah.
if they'd done that, but I think it was too short.
Now let's end by going back to Castle Black. We got to first of all learn that Melisandre is a lot older than we ever.
Which was
knew.
the hottest nude scene
Yeah.
they've ever had on the show.
Yeah, that was.
But then she
I didn't sleep
is
well that
used to try and bring Jon Snow back, and
I like how unsure of herself she
she
was.
was unsure. And even as the audience, she's thinking, "Is this going to work?" We didn't know until the very end when he sat up and they left
Yeah.
the room. Oh, it worked.
See, like a lot of people were thinking, like there's a few ways that he's going to come back, and I'm pretty sure everybody was pretty sure that he was going to come back in one
Oh,
form
he was
or
going to
another.
come back for sure,
We just weren't sure whether or not it was going to be a resurrection by the White Walkers,
or through fire,
or through fire as a Targaryen,
Yeah.
or as the Red Priest did,
Yeah.
resurrecting. You know what? A lot of people had the opinion that he would actually resurrect and be a White Walker, which I got to correct you guys on. White Walkers aren't dead at all. They're
That's right. They're
literally
that's right.
babies. That
Yeah.
actually wasn't in the book where they changed the baby into a
Oh,
White
okay.
Walker. That wasn't in the book. They
really?
they
Yeah.
did that specifically in the TV show, and that's it. That was a huge.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's how they set it up. But they get help from the wildlings. They come back. That was a great scene where they break into Castle Black.
That was another, like, I think it was in the mountain moment and the one with the giant
were
scene.
Yeah,
yeah
the
just
guy that shoots him
amazing.
with an arrow and
Oh,
he
just
takes
slaps
him
him against.
Yeah, I love that so much.
So I'm a little bit torn. How does that guy get out to get them in the first place?
He was able to get out because at that point they weren't yet
Knocking at the door.
knocking at the door yet. He sent him before. It was like episode 1. John has other friends.
Was it not? Was it before? I swear to God,
Yes.
I feel like they knocked on the door and then he escaped.
No, he got out, but they knew things weren't going to go well.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So they come and help, and thankfully the rest of the people surrendered rather quickly. And then they
After the first two.
then they hang the traitors.
Yes. No, I will say I've never seen audiences around the globe cheer so wholeheartedly for a child dying.
Oh, Joffrey
That was-
dying.
Yeah. Because watching watching Ollie get killed, everybody was like, "Yeah, die, little guy."
Yeah. But then the coolest bit,
I wish they expanded on his a little bit. I feel like there could have been.
let him dangle a little longer.
No, not the death.
Do a quick
I
flashback.
feel like they could have done a good redemption story with that kid.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe.
if they tried
I don't
to.
know, he was too angry.
I did not think they were just gonna hang him. That was pretty sudden.
Yeah.
But
And then my favorite part, after he's hung the traitors,
walks out.
takes off his cloak, gives it to
Peace
them,
out.
and then he goes, my watch has ended.
I
we
knew
discussed this
that
last
right
time we were
off
in
the
a
bat,
video.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his watch is over. He died.
Yep.
It's done.
You're there for life, but yes, he died. So,
Yeah, when you're
That's
dead, your watch
perfect.
is
so
over.
now
So
he's free to do what he wants.
but what is he gonna do now?
That's going to be interesting.
Right.
So we'll
so
find
clearly
out.
he's broken as far as the turmoils of trying to defend the wall goes. But the thing is, he knows this shit's coming.
So he'll probably do some stuff about that. I'm sure he's not going to leave.
But what is he gonna do? Because he's got to go.
He'll raise armies. He's going to probably go back to Winterfell. I don't know. I really don't know.
But
We'll
he
find
can't
out.
take Winterfell because Ramsay's got it.
He has all his wildling friends and the giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he's gonna wage a war south and then go north again.
I don't know.
And a lot of people actually don't like the Starks right now. Like, I mean, you saw that that
He's
certain
technically not
scene
a
with.
Stark.
I would consider a lot of people would see it that way. But there was that one scene with Ramsay and one of the, I think it was the Karstarks. Yes.
Yeah.
And they clearly showed that they had no love for the Starks. And I'm fairly certain if they saw Jon, they would feel the same way.
Probably.
You know, and clearly seeing through Ramsay's deception, I don't think a lot of people are in the Starks' favor anymore. I think Sansa is
They've all been killed.
yeah, well that too.
Yeah.
I think Sansa's the only one who's actually going to be able to rally the North if there's going to be a rally. I think that Jon Snow is probably going to go back to the Wall.
I hope
or
we
do
get a
something with the
Stark
Wildlings.
reunion. That's what I really hope. And actually, one thing that I
Really?
thought they were
don't-
going to,
I don't want that to happen. That would be too happy.
well, because then they would have to undercut it, like in the
Yes.
next
They
scene.
would have to like kill everybody.
But yeah, actually one moment that I thought was going to happen, which might still happen, was that I thought in him coming back, he was going to abandon the name Snow. And he was going to say, okay, now that I'm back, I'm Jon Stark. And I thought he was going to kind of reclaim his family name by coming back. And
Maybe he'll find Bran,
yeah, maybe.
Maybe we'll figure out who his mother
That's-
was.
and then he'll know who he is.
That is one thing that we have yet to talk about.
Because
That's right.
yeah,
Because
the mother.
that's right. We finally got back to Bran after
Yeah.
a whole season.
Yeah.
And all those visions were cool. But I was as
Yes.
frustrated as an audience as Bran was as
Yeah.
the character. Why do you keep pulling me out of these things? I want to
Yeah.
see what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. It's like,
Eventually we'll see it.
I know.
Yeah.
we
I
will.
know.
I just want to see it.
Wait, before it happens, because this is taking place well
Yeah.
before those episodes
Yeah.
air, what do you
I don't
think
know
is
what's
in the
happening
tower?
next.
Oh, that's what's her name? His sister.
Yeah, his sister.
Yes, but what do you think he's going to see involving his sister?
Oh,
Because there are
God.
theories.
No, I don't even want to guess.
A Targaryen. Isn't it Aegar?
In the tower?
No, Rhaegar won't be there
Rhaegar?
because he's off fighting the war.
Okay, but
A young
girl
what's
of
the
Jon
guy?
Snow, baby Snow.
No. The guy up north that was the Targaryen that lost his name because he went to the wall.
Oh, the guy who was in the
Oh,
Maester? You think he's
Aemon?
him?
Yeah, Aemon. I think he might have actually been. I feel like they're going to show him as a young. I don't know if it'll be in the tower, but I feel like they're going to show him at some point
Yeah.
as a young version of him.
Oh, interesting. We saw young Hodor who could talk.
We did.
That was so
That is
sweet.
another one I want
I
to see.
love that moment.
Before we end, spoilers again for people who haven't read the book. I'm really interested in the storylines that they have not introduced. I mentioned there was a Targaryen, but there's also going to be, those band of rebels that were going around doing
Yeah.
stuff. They're going to be forming and doing something with the people who were responsible for the Red Wedding, and they introduce another character who came back to life, and I cannot wait to see it. And I'm not going to spoil who it is, but
Will they do that though? Because they
might
were
have
supposed to
to.
do that.
they have to.
But they said, I remember them, like people were complaining about that after the Red Wedding happened, and they're like, okay, so this means this is going to happen. And yet, I think the writer said, no, it's not.
Which one? Who do you think gets resurrected?
You're talking about
Catelyn.
Catelyn Stark?
Catelyn gets resurrected, yeah.
Yeah, we've heard that in the books, but
Yeah,
you
but
said
I
it's
thought
not
the writers
happening
quashed
in the,
that.
in the show.
Did they?
Because I
haven't read
wondered
anything
if,
like that.
for a while, it felt as though what they were doing with Sansa was basically making her into like that character.
Yeah, but you got to understand the type of character story plot that would develop if she actually came back to life. Not only would that be a horrific scene because her throat was slashed.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have enough time. They're
Yeah.
only doing, what, 2 more seasons? This season and one
And
I think
does
they
it-
need to set
Or
it
they
up
do
at the
an
very
8.
least. I think they need to set it up because,
Yeah.
like, seeing her as a race, she can't talk. She's undead. She can't talk. She basically looks like a walking corpse because she was literally floating in the river
Yeah.
for a while until they got her. Resurrected her. She can't talk. She can only speak, and they say that that's actually wraith speak, the language of the undead. And the most the most horrifying part that I can actually consider, and they didn't do this in the books, but what if one of the Starks actually sees her?
Yeah.
That character development of seeing your mother that was killed in a wedding alive but a completely desecrated corpse,
Interesting.
that would be really good character development.
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where now that Jon Snow's come back to life, there's a lot of like theories and ideas of people throwing around of like all these characters coming back, and I don't know if they're going to like open the floodgates and say, okay, everybody's
It
coming
might
back.
be too much for the show.
Like it's-
Yeah, it's too much for the show if they
Yeah.
bring too many people back. As far as I know, only 3 people have been brought back.
Yeah.
Catelyn, which they might not even introduce according to you.
Yeah.
Jon Snow, which they had to bring back.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
the guy that the Red Priest kept coming back. And that was only to
To
set
set
up
Yes,
Jon
that's-
Snow.
exactly.
And theoretically, the mountain. We don't have confirmation that
Theoretically,
is
but I think that's not necessarily magic.
No,
I think
that's-
that might
that's
be
medical crap.
medical stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
keeping him barely on the verge of death. Yeah.
So that's episodes 1 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, as we were taping this right now, episode 4 is happening. So we'll be back. We'll be back to talk about in a couple of weeks to talk about the next 3 episodes together, and we'll find out if some of the things we predicted were right,
I'm so excited.
and and we'll see what else has actually happened. So
Yeah.
be sure to join us again.